Welcome to another In Wheel Time podcast, a 30-minute mini version of the In Wheel Time car show that airs live every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central. Podcasting and streaming worldwide, it's the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Just ahead, Sarah Vidrine, Texas Muscle Car Club Challenge, part of the Ford Performance Club Car Club team.
All right.
And we'll have this week's auto news. Howdy. Along with Mike Out of This World Mars, we always need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Thanks so much for joining us on our live program here on Saturday morning. By the way, that live program happens from 8 to 11 a.m. Saturday mornings. Mm-hmm. So I just wanted to throw that in there in case you're listening on a podcast later on, that you're going to go, wait a minute, it's not Saturday morning. No, it's not.
Rain, shine, snow, sleet, locusts, we'll be there.
Well, don't put us in there with the post office, because I think that
I didn't say post office.
The post office is going through some upheaval.
Challenges.
People aren't getting the mail delivered, and somebody's stealing it.
Oh, well,
that's the way that goes.
I thought you found your picture again.
In the post office. Do they still have that?
I don't know. I haven't been in a post office in a long time.
I haven't been near it.
Well, I take that back. You go and you drop it in the slot because you want a delivery right.
Yeah.
You don't go in the...
I guess you don't go where the posted, the wanteds are.
Where you got to fill out the paperwork.
Where Barney Fife always manages to put that up on,
well, that was in the sheriff's office.
That was in the sheriff's office.
Sheriff.
Most wanted. Yep. Well, we're not wanting for anything except information from Sarah Vidrine. She's president of the Texas Muscle Car Club Challenge. Sarah, good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are y'all?
Well, we're doing well. Thank you for asking, and it's good to have you with us. So tell us about what you do. I know that you're the president of the Texas Muscle Car Club Challenge, but what is it?
So we are a small bracket racing series.
Drag racing.
Drag racing, correct.
Okay.
We stick to mainly Texas, Oklahoma every now and then. We try to run about 10 races a year. It kind of started off as a series for people who wanted to do a little bit of extra racing outside of, the track's normal bracket programs.
Because the bracket, let me just interrupt and say to those that don't know, the bracketed sportsman class of cars is huge. There's a lot. I mean, you could have one car in the class. Okay, well, what do you do with that? That's how many classes there are. I mean, the book is thick.
Tons.
Yeah, exactly. So you gotten together. Okay, so what kind of cars, if you don't mind me interrupting and asking a question?
Oh, absolutely. So mainly muscle cars. We actually have some BMWs every now and then, and a Chevy Volt of all things.
Wow.
I know. But, if it'll run consistent, come out and race on the track. It's a lot of fun.
And how do you classify them? Because you don't put a Prius up against a BMW.
Oh, absolutely not. So everything is kind of broken down by time. So we don't want to have, that slow Prius running, a fuel-altered car, because that would be very dangerous, right?
Right.
We haven't broken down into classes. We've actually got 8 classes that we run. Grocery getter all the way up to full-blown electronics, you name it, all the bells and whistles.
And what's the top? The lowest speed? Are you quarter mile or eighth mile?
We do run some quarter mile, but we only run quarter mile up to 12 seconds.
Okay.
Wow.
The faster cars stick 8 mile only.
Yeah. So that 12-second quarter mile car would be, something probably from 1968, 69, and it would be been the hot rod of the time.
Z28 or Block 1 Mustang, big block, something
like that. Okay.
Yeah, and then we've got the newer guys coming in too.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to get everybody a picture here of, the times back then are not muscle car times of today. And so there's a drastic difference between the two. So you really cater to cars, let's just say from 1964 to 1970.
Those would have been a lot of our older members, yeah.
Thank you very much for pointing that out. I know that you did that on purpose, but most people do. It's okay.
Honestly, if I could afford to have one, I would have one as well, but I can't. So.
You're too young.
What kind of car do you drive?
I drive an 07 Mustang.
07 Mustang. Not shabby at all. Is it a bullet?
I am Ford blue through and through.
Okay, well, there's nothing wrong with that. I can appreciate that. Is it a bullet? What is it? Anything special about it?
GT.
A GT.
It was a GT that started off as a 5-speed and has slowly morphed into a stroked and blown and now running a 3-speed automatic. So
I got you. And so you're running an automatic in it now?
Oh, it's a turbo 400.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I got tired of breaking stuff.
Yeah, I can only imagine because those manual transmissions, as I know, can be rough on a crab.
So I was going to say, she
got it blown too.
Yeah,
so she got a little more
she's
juice
a little
there.
rough on that. You better calm down there.
What kind of times do you run? Are you running 8th mile with that car?
Yeah, I run 8th mile, about 680s.
680s in the 8th mile. Okay. So you can extrapolate the 8th mile and then do the quarter mile and you get an idea.
11,
It runs about 10s-ish.
Oh.
I run out of gear pretty quickly, so.
Well,
if you built it for 8th mile, that would be easy to do.
So in the 8th mile, what gear do you cross the 8th mile marker at?
I'm in 3rd gear, probably with maybe 1,000 RPM left before I hit rev limiter.
I got you. All right. So you've got a pretty steep rear end in that.
It's only a 373 of all things, surprisingly, but yeah.
Well, I guess it's the blower that gives it all of the juice.
Yeah, it does.
Do you know what kind of horsepower you're running?
It's been a while. I've changed the pulley out since I've done it, but I'm guessing probably 570s, close to 6.
And you drive that every day?
Oh, no. That is relegated to, it is a trailer queen and track queen. It does not get on the street anymore.
I got you.
Gone too far.
It's getting too much to insure it.
I got you.
Yeah.
All right. So tell me about an event that you guys would put on and how many people show up to run. And and I guess you've got probably a core group that kind of, that goes around the state.
So we have about 12, 13 clubs that are pretty consistently running all the time. The main three, the Ford, GM, and Mopar. Ford we've combined forces with another club this year, so it's going to be even more interesting. We're going to combine and try to go after the points championship for the club overall. We'll tell you a little bit more about that later. But usually we run probably about 120 to 130 cars in one event.
That's significant.
That's
so that takes you a few hours to get through 120 cars.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, usually. So we do 2 time trials, and then we start eliminations usually right after lunch.
And then what do you start eliminations on Saturday?
No, so we usually run Sundays only.
Oh, really? So you squeeze all of this in one day?
It's in one day.
Oh, my God. Well, I don't know who's doing the paperwork on that, but
man, our tracks are awesome. They do a great job of getting us in the door and getting us out. We're usually done by 5 o'clock.
So what tracks are you going to, and what's that picture behind you?
That picture behind me is Old Texas Raceway in Kennedale. That was my first track I ever ran on, the track that I love, and the one that owns my perfect reaction times. The one, unfortunately, that's been, down for at least 10 years now.
What, did they bulldoze it? Is it a subdivision now?
The drag strip is still there. The city kind of went and told them, hey, you're not operating anymore. We want to buy your land for a housing subdivision. And it never happened. And it's just kind of sitting there vacant.
Wow.
What a shame.
Unfortunately. But yeah, I was like, you know what? That's a perfect background. It's my favorite track.
Absolutely. That is very cool. Yeah. It looks like you're sitting in an easy chair there right on the track at the starting line.
Man, I love that place. I miss that track so much.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to go through all the tracks now. So there's that one that doesn't exist anymore. Do you have a home track?
Our home track is pretty much going to be our locals, and that's going to be Extreme Raceway Park in Ferris. And Texas Motorplex there in Ennis. Okay.
So up north.
North part of Texas.
Yeah.
And I forget you guys are in Houston. Yeah. So
have you run down here?
We have talked about trying to go to Houston or San Antonio, but it just hasn't worked out. Plus, I think.
Yeah. Plus, we don't have it anymore.
They're gone now.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. About the closest you're going to get to us is going to be Lufkin, maybe at Pine Valley or someplace.
No, an 8th mile is Houston Motorsports Park.
Right.
They run an 8th mile, Houston Motorsports Park.
Okay, I'm going to have to look into those guys for next year. Okay.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, I think the closest we're going to get to you this year is actually going to be Little River there in Holland.
Oh, I know about Little River because I burn up a clutch in my Corvette at Little River.
Not just last year.
yeah, I had to put a new clutch back in it. But so I'm familiar with Little River. It's really fun because it's off a highway, but it's a 2-lane highway, and you actually kind of go down to Little River. Yeah. I like it because you can park underneath the trees and catch some shade in the afternoon.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. So Little River, I got that.
Yeah, we're going to Little River this year. We're going to go to, we have, I think, I want to say, is it 4 or 5 races at Extreme Raceway Park. Galen Smith has been very awesome. And
why do I know that?
The name sounds familiar.
So,
Why do I know that name, Galen Smith?
he's a driver, but he's also the track manager for Extreme.
Okay.
He's involved in a lot of things. I wouldn't be surprised if you didn't know him.
Yeah. Maybe I met him in jail or something.
Yeah.
I hope not. And then Texas Motorplex, Eric and DeMarcus are always awesome about hosting us there as well.
Do you know a fellow by the name of Randy Weldon?
The name sounds really familiar.
You know, he's a Ford Mustang guy, and he's here in the Houston area, and he's been with the Mustang Club, and he's president of this and president of that, and he is very involved. Now, I don't know about drag racing, but he's certainly involved with Mustangs and
performance.
And performance, and I think that you would enjoy spending some time with him. So, just a thought.
You mentioned
Maybe we can run into each other one of these days.
Probably so.
Yeah, he's all over the place. You mentioned something about some tracks in Oklahoma.
Yeah, we do have one race in Oklahoma. We're going to be in Ardmore in August.
Okay.
Now,
We're going up there when it's cool.
In August.
Usually when it's 100 plus here, at least it's under 100 at Ardmore.
Yeah. Well, now it's 108 here, so it'd probably be at least 102 there. Anyway, the point made.
Usually since it's up in the elevation, it's a little cooler too, which is nice.
Yeah. All right.
We try to avoid racing in July and August as much as we can, just because we don't like racing in the heat.
No,
it's miserable actually.
It is. Let's say full fire gear, no AC, no thank you.
All right. So do you have any kind of other classes of cars that go down the track really fast and make a lot of noise doing it?
We have, it starts off slow with our, the stock cars, the stock people that drive every day, and then it goes slowly getting faster and faster and faster. And then we do have what's called our Super Pro Muscle class, which are our big bad race cars.
You don't have any cars running nitro, do you?
Oh, I might have 1 or 2, but I think the fastest I've seen anybody go is probably like a 530.
530 in the eighth mile.
In the eighth, yeah.
Okay. All right. Probably not.
That's pretty quick.
That is pretty quick. Yeah. It doesn't take
moving.
that.
We do have one guy who runs a fuel altered. He can crank it up as fast as he needs to go.
So you mentioned a couple of times about the clubs. What is the club aspect of this?
So it's meant to be a club versus club event. So if you are coming out to race, you have to be a member of a club or racing for the club that day. And usually if you're interested, you just show up and say, hey, I want to run with you guys. And more than likely we'll say, hey, come on, throw our letter behind your number and let's run, So what we're doing is we're running for points. The further you get along in the day, the more points you accrue. And the more points you accrue for the club, at the end of the season, it turns into a, bragging rights, essentially. And also we do trophies and payouts at the end of the year. Like last season, my team, the Ford Muscle Club, we actually did really well. We were in the lead through the entire season, and then we got jumped the very last race.
Oh, man.
Which is frustrating. That's also part of the reason why we decided to go ahead and join forces with another team. So now we're part of the Red River Muscle Club. So mainly Mopar and Ford.
Okay. How many members are in that?
Combining. Do what?
How many members in that?
I would guess probably going to be at least 25 cars.
Yeah.
Some of us will actually, like when you're at the away races, those points are worth more points for the first round.
Do they all show up at the events, or you just get kind of stragglers coming in 10, 20 at a time rather than the full complement?
The full Monty.
So we usually have a good set. Like traveling races, we usually bring at least 100, and then their local guys that want to run a bracket will show up as well. We
Right.
usually get
But specifically for your club, your Ford Mopar, you said there's sort of a small number, but do they all show up at every event?
At least for the local ones, yes. For the away ones, we'll probably get 3/4 of us, just
Okay.
depending on who's got kids sports that
Yeah,
day or
exactly.
what's going on.
So if Don shows up in his Corvette, does he have to? Let's say he's a member of a Corvette club down here in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Is that sufficient for him to be able to run, or does he need to be one of the clubs that's part of your association?
Yeah, so if you wanted to run with your club for the day, we can give you a temporary letter to sign, or you can run with the GM or any of the other ones that are on the track that day.
Okay.
It's whoever you want to talk to and hang out with.
As long as you're with some club somewhere.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with the fastest cars in the Dirty South?
Vaguely.
Okay. Television show. It's a
Okay.
reality show. And all I could think of is this is kind of along those, this is more grudge racing and match racing, if you will, as opposed to organized drag racing like you've got. Have you ever met any of those guys? Well, if you don't know the show, then you probably haven't met them.
Probably not. I would say I run my kiddo's soccer stuff too, so I really don't.
Are you a soccer mom?
I am a soccer mom. Yeah.
Soccer mom in a blown
Mustang?
Yeah, I raced until I was probably a good 8 months pregnant, and I did
Wow.
slow down at least going to the tow vehicle, so I wasn't racing as dangerously. But I mean, he's been at the track since he was a tiny. He's
Before
grown up
that.
around cars.
Yeah. Tiny, yeah. In the womb, tiny.
Building a
Yep,
spine.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, is that your only child?
Yep. Just we're the one and done.
And do you drag him to the races with you?
Now that he's gotten older, he's kind of like, well, if I don't have internet connection, I don't want to go. So,
Oh, God. Now he's got an attitude.
He's
Thanks,
Yeah.
Mom.
I had a
well,
sit.
I've offered. I was like, hey, do you want to run junior dragsters? And he's like, no, I want to race your car. I'm like, well, the day you beat me, and it's the day you can drive it.
Yeah, you got to
You
work
gotta
your way
go
up.
somewhere. Yeah, that's my daughter. We should take her out to Houston. Used to get tickets to go to Houston when she was 7, 8, 10 years old. She didn't like it at first, but once she got exposed to it, it was an every year event. And it's the sound, the pretty colors of the cars, the people,
Ground
all that, yeah.
vibrating.
Exactly.
There's definitely a car show at all of our events. Like there are some really gorgeous cars that come.
Yep.
I'll bet.
Cool stuff.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking, I would like to go to one of those events sometime, not to race,
Come
But
see
to-
me. Yeah.
but to go. Well, you guys need to work it out there at Houston Motorsports Park.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, if you can, after we're done talking, if you'll email me a contact, I'd be more than happy to try to get on their list.
We can
There
do
you go.
that. Yeah.
HoustonMotorsportsPark.com.
There you go.
I don't have a contact. I
Really?
used to.
Yeah, I
I
got
used-
one somewhere.
Well, Mars does. Well, you can email her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got one for the drag strip and one for the oval track out there.
Very
Because
nice.
I was looking to see at their events this weekend. They pretty well rained everything out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think that they race like every other Saturday night or something out there. I don't really know.
Okay.
Friday night fights and, and
Mhm.
Fights.
well, that's what they call it, something like that. It's kind of like a grudge match.
Oh, I
rain,
see.
Come on
So
out.
where are you actually located at, Sarah?
I'm in DFW. I'm right near the airport.
Okay.
So we try to base everything around North Texas within a 2 to 3 hour.
Oh,
max.
she's one of those North Texas snobs that's going to rub our nose in it. I can tell already.
Not only that, she's a soccer mom
And she's a soccer mom. My God.
with a blown Mustang.
Yeah, there's that.
Mustang, exactly.
Yeah. All right. So you have a website we can get a hold of you and learn more about?
We do.
Tell me.
It's just tmccc.org. So TM 3Cs. So Texas Muscle Car Club Challenge.
Interesting. And I see.
Got all our rules, all the classes. Talk a little bit about the driver's reward program too, if you all are interested.
And a link to In Wheel Time.
Well, because
absolutely.
they're going to start sponsoring our race card feature.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wonderful.
Very nice.
Do you get involved in any of the high schools with their automotive programs?
Not really. Some of the local car clubs do. I am a former member of the North Texas Mustang Club, and I know that they do a lot of events with high schools.
So that's where she knows Randy Weldon, at least knows the name.
That's probably it.
Yeah, because Randy was also the national president, wasn't he?
Something like that.
He was one of the directors.
Yeah.
Directors, okay, yeah.
Mustang Club of America. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, Sarah, it's great to talk to you. And hopefully we'll be in touch again soon and talk more. When's your first event?
Our first race is going to be March 24th out at Extreme. Gates are opening at 9 o'clock for that one. $40 for a tech card if you want to come race, and $15 to come watch.
Cheap.
Yeah.
That is cheap.
And where's that track at? That's the one that's in Ferris?
That's in Ferris off of I-45.
You
Just up north from you guys.
Yeah, well, Ferris is actually south of Ennis, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Is it?
Ennis, the Texas Motorplex, and Extreme are very close to each other.
I didn't know that.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. 2 or 3 hours for you.
And fingers crossed, I'll have a car to race.
Have you got yours torn apart or something?
I've been having belt issues for a good season now. Been chucking belts, breaking belts, and enough that I just had to forget it, parked it for half a season, and just ran my truck.
So, well, what's up with that? I mean, usually if you start losing blower belts, there's something else going on.
Pulleys or lines.
Yeah, originally it was the alternator, and it was starting to lock up. So we replaced the alternator, and then realized it was out of alignment, and then finally just had to forget it and upgraded to a full bigger belt and 8-rib system, and it's one after the other. It never fails.
That's drag racing.
That's drag racing.
You said you're racing your truck now? Your tow truck?
I will every now and then. If my car goes down, I'll just run my truck. And it's not horribly consistent, but hey, it counts for a point for the day.
Okay, that's right. You're running for points.
Yep.
Well, Sarah, it's great to talk to you, and we sure appreciate your time this morning. And we will be in touch again soon, and hopefully we will talk to you when you get close to that March 24th event.
Definitely.
Okay.
All
Awesome,
right.
guys. I really appreciate the time. Thank you.
Thank you, and schooling us, that's for sure. And thanks for putting up with our ribbing. But you know how us car people are, weird.
That's normal. I'm used to it.
And so are we. Thanks again. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Bye, guys. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
You bet.
I like it.
Good stuff.
I know.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun to go do.
Because, I got this drag racing thing going through my veins.
It's springtime. He's got the spring itch.
It doesn't.
Well,
it doesn't go away. It never has.
And what I liked about those events, 120, 130 cars is a bunch of cars. But, if you go out to some place when Baytown was running bracket races, they may have 200 or 300 of them there. You could get one run in about 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, I know. Ask Stan Holt. Ask Dale Hultquist. Ask any of the sportsmen races.
Yeah.
The Emmons brothers.
Yeah.
Which
we have
by
a
the way,
Wally.
yes, we have a Wally.
We have our own Wally.
And we have the Chili Pepper Award
We
from
do.
Tailpipes and Tacos.
There you
And
go.
hopefully we're going to have a Tailpipes and Tacos this spring at some point.
That would be awesome.
It would be, wouldn't it? All right. Got some more headlines to get to here. General Motors working with L-Link Technologies to produce and sell remanufactured headlamps. What? Giving dealers and customers more choice when a damaged one needs to be replaced. Price for a remanufactured headlamp is about 40% less than a GM original equipment headlamp, the automaker said, and an aftermarket headlamp costs about 25% more than a GM remanufactured one. So this is the best of both worlds. Did you understand that?
No.
Okay.
Well, that's okay.
These remanufactured headlamps, and I'll just put it into perspective for you. What they do is they take a broken one, one that's clouded over, doesn't work. They open it up, and if it's still usable, they'll put a new lens in it and stick it back into
Whatever
for sale.
vehicle, yeah.
Or if it's not workable, they take the guts out of it because now they have microchips in these headlights that power things and turn things on and turn things off. Because some of them, have turn signals in them as well.
Right.
And they sell it for half price. Hello, I'm in.
Yeah.
You ever found out how much a headlight is for your car?
Oh, it's quite expensive.
Very expensive these days. Okay. Let's see. I'm kind of running out of time here. Hold on.
We're holding.
Hold your horses. I want to get to the story that I really want.
And while you're looking at that, you can subscribe to the show at any time, and you'll get updates from us as well.
Yeah. And Formula One is.
Oh, yeah, Formula One.
I wanted you to get that in.
There's a little bit of hissy fit going on. Andretti did not get the permission to put a car on the track, an 11th team for the next run. There's a lot of back and forth, and what I'd like to say about this is that everybody in that industry, everybody in F1 is really, I say everybody that knows what they're doing is very upset with this because it's going to bring things to F1. Real quick, there's some. Graham Rahal says it's just the silliest decision they made. Mario Andretti's very upset. He says he's devastated by it. Racing News stated that F1 has not been a motorsports series in a decade. There's a lot of infighting, and it's just turmoil. Mercedes is losing drivers. They're going over to F1, or I'm sorry, to Ferrari in the F1 class.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
So drama. There's going to be drama out there.
Well, there's still drama right now.
There's a bunch of hissies out there. I can see that.
And there's drama in NASCAR, too.
Yeah, somewhat.
So there's people changing teams and sponsors falling out.
Silly season, but not this drastic.
I know. And we got Daytona coming up.
Yep.
All right. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to wrap things up for this week. So we invite you to stay with us here on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. The original group of Lupi Tortilla restaurants will have you telling your family and friends just what the original recipes mean when it comes to the best fajitas in Southeast Texas. Founder Stan Holt invites you to visit the original Lupi Tortilla near I-10 and Highway 6. Here's the original house that inspired the design of all the rest and the original charm that helped make Lupi Tortilla the go-to destination for Houston Tex-Mex. Speaking of original, nothing can compete with the original lime pepper marinade that everyone will agree makes Lupi Tortilla award-winning beef fajitas the best anywhere. Lupi Tortilla Katy is another location that gives you the same quality and service Houstonians have come to expect at Lupi's. It's located just off I-10 of the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard in Katy. Find yourself in Aggieland? Head to the Lupi Tortilla in College Station, located just around the corner from Kyle Field. It's a great place to enjoy those famous frozen margaritas before or after the game. Headed east to Louisiana, stop in at the Lupi Tortilla in Beaumont. It too's on I-10. You can't miss it. The original group of Lupi Tortilla restaurants invites you in for the best Tex-Mex anywhere. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com. Want to feel good about something special you did for someone special? In Wheel Time and the original Lupi Tortilla group of Tex-Mex restaurants have joined together to help a very worthy cause, God's Garage, a Christian-based 501c3 charity. We know there are lots of places and organizations out there where you can donate a car, truck, or SUV, but we're asking you, our car enthusiast family, to consider donating to God's Garage. Visit godsgarage.org and learn about its mission, the women that have been helped, how each one is screened, and about their Restore You program. A car donation is an easy way to make a difference in the lives of others. God's Garage needs good operating vehicles, but will take all types in working and non-working condition. Make your heart and soul feel good by donating your gently used vehicle and help support single mothers, widows, and wives of deployed military at godsgarage.org. Well, that's it for this week's In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Here's your invitation to follow us on Facebook. Give us a like, tell your friends about us, and share our stuff. We'll keep you posted on all things automotive all week long, including award-winning interviews, new car reviews, upcoming events, cruise-ins, racing, car, truck, and SUV goodies too. Hey, when you need to get into your car groove during the week, you can find the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show 24/7 via the iHeartRadio app. We live stream this show on Facebook, YouTube, and InRealTime.com every Saturday, 8 to 11 a.m. Central Time. And don't forget, 30-minute podcasts are available from your favorite podcast streaming provider. The In Real Time Marketing Advertising Advisor and today's Video Technical Director is We Always Need More Jeff Zekin. Mike Mars and our Chief Engineer, David Ainsley. I'm Don Armstrong. Thanks for joining us. We hope you join us again for our next live broadcast, Saturday, February 10, heading up to Valentine's Day, 8 to 11 a.m. on all of our In Real Time live outlets. And from the whole gang here at the In Real Time Car Talk Show, have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time. That's it for this podcast episode of the In Real Time Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us for our live show every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our InRealTime.com website. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart Podcast, Podcast Addict, TuneIn, Pandora, and Amazon Music. Keep listening, and we'll see you soon.